Okay, so we've been in Japan for about 2 months now. We've tried so many different kinds of foods, and a lot of it has been awesome. So I want to put this video together. I know there's a big backlog of videos I have to edit, but I want to edit this one and show what we've eaten and just talk a little bit about the differences, because food in Japan is very different. Just the type of foods, but also how people treat foods, how you can get foods. So I wanted to go into all those details and show you like what you can expect and like the kind of food culture is in Japan. I've talked about vending machines before. We love these vending machines. You cannot go in Japan, like even in rural areas, more than 2 blocks without seeing one of these vending machines. Here is an inside look at like a 7-Eleven, or maybe this is a Lawson or Family Mart or something. Corner store, which they also have corner stores everywhere too. Like, you can't go more than 5 blocks without finding one of these. And they have full-on meals. We've had several good dinners strictly from 7-Eleven that we rushed at night. A lot of restaurants don't stay open late in Japan. So this is a ramen shop that we rode our bikes to late one night, just me and my eldest son, and had a good bowl of ramen. But yeah, other than ramen shops, a lot of the restaurants close around 6, 7 p.m. So you really have to find the ones that are open. Oh, here's Costco. So Japan does have Costco, American memberships accepted. And they have, the large portions that we're used to in America. Because if you go to a regular traditional Japanese supermarket, you're not going to find a lot of stuff. Yeah, they do have unique things like sushi and a lot of the same items, but a lot of unique items too. The sushi is actually really good at the Costco Japan. There's some stuff we bought, eggs, bacon. The bacon's a little different. Even the eggs are a little different in Japan. You try cracking them, they're so much harder and thicker eggshells. They're yellower too. The yolk is yellower. Oh, here's some curry. Yeah, I'm just going to be showing you clips of all the different things we've been eating in Japan. A lot of it, bakeries are so good in Japan. Sometimes supermarket. This is a supermarket lunch I had. Here's a Wendy's, a Japanese Wendy's that actually serves bubble tea, which is interesting. Here's some street food that we got, takoyaki or octopus balls. This is in Osaka. We just went down. Oh, here's no Chinese men, no English men. They added a menu. But I think there is some kind of like racism or countryism in Japan. I don't know. I haven't noticed it much, but people have talked about, that they were rejected. No reservations for Americans. No Americans allowed kind of thing. I don't know. I think, especially around the military bases, maybe military makes a little too much trouble, or Americans make too much trouble, so they just don't want to deal with it. Anyway, we haven't experienced that almost at all. Just that one sign I stumbled on. But I have heard it. We didn't eat these fishes. I just thought it was kind of cool. This was katsu, one of our first meals once we got to Japan. If you did watch a lot of my videos, you can skip the next 5 minutes or so, because I'm going to be going over some of the other foods we had in the beginning of our trip, and a lot of that was in our earlier videos. Yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, I've made a series of videos almost every day from the first day to the 15th day when we got here in Japan, and now I have more videos that I have a backlog of, like when we went to Mount Fuji in Oshima, so those I'll be releasing soon. Oh, here's a robot cleaner. So this guy cleans your dishes, and you just put it on there, and it'll take it to the kitchen. So here's some squid candy you can buy. Yeah, this was at Don Quijote, which is like a large discount store chain that they have in Japan. Here is Kaiten Sushi, one of our favorite sushi places to get sushi. Kaiten Sushi, I think, is just like conveyor belt sushi. And it's actually really good. I feel like we haven't had any bad sushi in Japan. Even supermarket sushi seems to be really good in Japan. I hate supermarket sushi in America. It's always, the rice is dried out. It's never fresh. But I don't know. Everything we've had in Japan has been good. Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about cost, because I don't know. I feel like everyone feels Japan is, kind of an expensive country. But when it comes to food, I have to say Japan is cheap relative to America, especially with inflation. As we were leaving America, I feel like it was so hard to find a meal for $10. And then you have to pay tip a lot of times. You have to pay tax. Here, most food, if whatever's labeled has tax built into it, you never pay tip at any restaurant. Oh, here's a hamburger shop. They do have hamburgers, but they're a lot sweeter than American hamburgers. They are different. Ooh, crepes, these were good. Anyway, back to food costs. I don't know, food costs is just extraordinarily cheap. I think maybe labor is just cheaper in Japan, so they can, like, sometimes I'm just like, how are these people making money? Because, you know, in America, you have these high property taxes, and I'm just like, this would be double the price. Oh, here's traditional Japanese breakfast. We stayed at a ryokan, traditional Japanese inn, and they serve the traditional Japanese breakfast. All these different dishes, all these different foods. Our kids really didn't like it, the whole fish and everything. But yeah, it was an experience for sure. Yeah, a lot of Japanese cooking or restaurants will give you an open fire thing or a hot plate. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it for sure. Yeah, anyway, this was an interesting meal. Pizza. Oh man, pizza in Japan is so expensive. Even in just like a Domino's or something, you're going to be paying. But what I love about Japan is there's no tipping anywhere. Restaurants, takeout, whatever. No tipping, which is awesome. And I wish America was a no tipping culture. Yeah, this is sometimes it's hard to find child seats or good child seats in Japan. They don't have a lot of belt buckles for your child seats. Here was a ramen shop I went to with a vending machine where you put in your order. What I do like about Japan food too is they display a lot of it, so you know what the portion size is, you know what it's going to look like. So especially if you can't read signs, that helps. Here are the black eggs of Hakone, which is supposed to add 7 years to your lifespan. They turn black after being boiled in the sulfur springs of the Hakone volcano. The kids really liked them. I liked them. They were fine. A good souvenir gift for sure. When else did you get to try black eggs? Yeah. Here, I forget what this is called, but it's basically mochi, or like a rice cake dipped in soy sauce and grilled up. It was good. Here also we were in Hakone, so they had black flavored ice cream or charcoal flavored ice cream. It just tasted like vanilla and it was black. Kids liked it. They had nice big black mustaches after that. Here is a home cooked meal from our landlords. They cooked us okonomiyaki as soon as we moved in. That was a good meal. Here is next breakfast the next morning, since we didn't go grocery shopping at McDonald's. Kids seem to still love McDonald's. It is different, but yeah, a lot of similarities too. Here's Costco again. They seem to change their menu up weekly, and they have a lot more food options in Costco Japan, in terms of the food court anyway. But yeah, a lot of different types of entrees. They still have the rotisserie chicken though, and pizza, but it's hard to find refrigerators big enough for those pizza boxes or ovens. You know, our house doesn't have an oven. Most houses in Japan don't have ovens, so I don't know what they're doing with those ovens. Or maybe they cut them up and put them into their little convection ovens. Yeah, here's some of the pizza that we had at the food court in Japan. They have bulgogi burgers, clam chowder. Yeah, some more foods. Here is a Chinese restaurant that we went to right by our house. Actually, it's Taiwanese. But yeah, a lot of the Chinese restaurants even that we went to, very different style of food than American Chinese food. Oh, here's one of those hot plates I was talking about. That was the best chicken teriyaki I've ever had. So good. Cup Noodle Factory, where the kids made cup noodles, their own cup noodles. Here's some dim sum we got at the Chinatown in Yokohama. Some more street food. That was a big piece of grilled chicken. Oh, grilled chicken, man. There's fried chicken, fried chicken everywhere in Japan. Oh, here's Shinkansen. And in I guess when you take the Shinkansen, it's tradition to have your lunch in a bento box while riding the Shinkansen. So that's what that was. Yeah, menu at an onsen we went to. A lot of the onsens are public bathhouses. We'll have restaurants built in. And yeah, there's some of the foods you could get there. Yeah. And then here's a Saizera, one of the chains they have in Japan. Very cheap. Again, you know, that pizza I think was like 400 yen. These snails, again, 400 yen. That plate of noodles, black ink pasta, I think was a little more, 700 yen. But you know, 700 yen, that's only like 450 in today's currency. I think right now it's like 140 yen to $1. So, oh, here's a ramen festival we checked out in Tokyo. Tried all the different ramens from all the different regions of Japan, because each region has their own specific type of ramen. More Costco sushi because we loved it. Yeah, we've been frequenting Costco a lot just because we have a big family, and it's hard to, I don't know, I guess we're used to it, and we need the big portions because there's a lot of the things, like you get a little thing of, or you get the biggest thing of yogurt in Japan, and it's like kid-sized version in America. Here was like a mountaintop street vendor, mochi again, fried mochi in a soy sauce paste. Here's a look at a bakery. I love the bakeries in Japan. Honestly, I feel like the Japanese are the best bakers in the world. Probably gonna get a lot of hate comments there, but you know, we've been to Europe, we've been to South or Central America, we've been to Korea. Okay, Asian bakeries are really good. Korean bakeries are pretty good too, but I think Japanese are the best bakers. They're just always soft, sweet, and always just seems fresh for some reason. So, yep, I'm going to put that out there. The Japanese are the best bakers. It's very hard to find forks and spoons in Japan. They will give them to kids, but even some restaurants don't have them for kids. So, yeah, it behooves you to try to teach your kids to use chopsticks. My kids still don't know how to use it, but even my wife still struggles with using chopsticks. I think I'm pretty good. I love these restaurants that you can kind of sit down on the floor, especially with kids. Those are great. A lot of family restaurants. If you Google map family restaurants, you'll see them. Oh, here's one of those fire plates. This one is cool. They kind of give you like a raw burger, raw steak, and you cook it to whatever doneness you want, and then you eat it as you go. And the longer you take, the more done it is, and the earlier you eat, the fresher it is. So that was kind of cool. This is again another clip of the onsen restaurant where we went, and again sitting on the floor eating low to the ground, which I enjoy and I like, especially with our young kids. They can crawl around. Here is a very early woken Valen for morning breakfast before he heads out to school. Here is us going to the mall and just sampling some of their different foods. I forget what this is called, but it's a very popular dessert item. Fried fish, or it looks like a fish, but it's like a pancake dough with red bean in it. Yeah, Pokemon's very popular in Japan, which our kids like. Here's Mr. Donut with Pokemon-themed donuts. And then here, I think this is called yakiniku, where you have like an open, I don't know, barbecue pit, and you fry up different meats and eat there. Yep, just some of the more stores in the mall. And then here's our Chinese restaurant too. This is like our closest restaurant to our house, so we've gone to it like 3 times now. Really like it. And yeah, cheap, like most foods in Japan, again, cheap. So it's really nice, especially with the high value of the dollar and the low cost of the yen, just to be able to sample everything and try everything. And yeah, I feel like in America, it's so much cheaper to cook for yourself than to go out and buy dinner every night. But I feel like in Japan, it's pretty similar, especially if you're a single person. I'd say you might even save money by going out and eating or going to the grocery store and picking up, prepared foods. But yeah, if you have a bigger family, I think it's still definitely cheaper to cook for yourself instead of going out to eat every night. But yeah, food costs in Japan, I'm really surprised of how cheap it is. Here is some food for deer at Nara Park, where you can feed wild deer. They give you these deer biscuits. Here's another buffet restaurant we went to. Buffets in Japan are called Vikings, like Viking, the rowing Nordsman. Yeah, some more baked goods. We love hitting up the bakeries. Here is kind of like an American-style hamburger place that we found, run by Japanese. Really good. One of the best steaks we've had. Honestly, that burger might be one of the best burgers I've ever had. Here we went to a military base in Japan, and they had, a whole bunch of American chains, which was kind of refreshing to try. Sushi place at a little place in Okinawa. Good food there too. Also in Okinawa, they had these big, gigantic shrimp. Those were some of the best shrimp I've had. Here is what do you call this place? Pokoyama or something, but it's basically Spam egg rice balls. It sounds terrible, but it's actually really good. I think it's inspired by Hawaiians. Hawaiians really like Spam for some reason. Here is a Korean restaurant we sampled, and another buffet that we stayed in a hotel and had a buffet. Some seaweed, some squid, different things. Tacos in Okinawa, for some reason tacos are really popular, but in mainland it's very hard to find any Mexican food in mainland Japan, so we were definitely enjoying ourselves in Okinawa, just sampling the tacos. So that's a little bit about the food we've been trying, the food we've been eating, and a little bit of what you can experience if you are coming to Japan. So I hope that was informative. Good luck. Godspeed. We'll catch you in the next one.